What is up, everybody? Colin. Yes. Welcome, everybody. Checking my levels here. How's I kind of messed around with my voice volume. How's that? Mic check 1 2. Okay, cool. The mic sounds good then. Does this sound a bit too much? You dial it back, like, how about that? I usually filter it down anyway, but just so you can, yeah, let's get into some music. I'm glad you guys like my clickbait messaging, but then again, like, how else do you get people to you know, jump in? Santa's in the building. Oh, what's up, everybody? How's it going? Yeah, I realized that at some point in time I may have like nudged it and the volume like went down, so I was like checking out the last stream and I think it was still like you could hear it pretty well, but you couldn't, it wasn't as loud as it usually is. Cheers, happy Friday, everybody. I'm actually drinking whiskey today, so actually having a drink, so cheers. Yeah, it's Saturday for some people, I guess. Saturday, 2 a.m. Yeah. I'm like, I have to keep up the clickbait, you know, messaging somehow. So I'm just getting I'm just getting creative with it. How comfortable is your chair? It is not, and I have a new chair on its way, and it'll be here on Monday. So yeah, so we have like an ongoing. So this is just the one that it generated for me, but so this is the let's see if I got anything here. Someone is calling Ellie. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could say maybe that one. Yeah, yes, so there are a couple changes. There's a modular synth on here now. So yeah, I'll get into that in a little bit. I kind of want to like perform it a little bit and then I can explain it, if that makes sense. See, okay, now you guys saw the bingo. Now you guys are just asking questions to get points, so. You know, it's funny because like I had talked about doing this for a while, about like adding the modular and whatever. And the beauty of this system is that I can it is kind of modular in that sense that I can switch out any of these instruments for anything, really, anything that accepts MIDI. So yeah, I'll get into that in a bit, but I kind of have a couple new samples that I want to play with, so. You know, that is funny that Ellie just released a new album today. I didn't even think about that, but yeah, I'm just playing around with this acapella. Okay, thanks guys. Appreciate it. Yeah, you know, it's kind of funny. I figured you guys would notice the Grammy moving, but yeah, that is Juno on the floor. Here, let me... There we go. Okay, just catching up. What's up, Deja? How's it going? Hold on. Let me just catch up here. Yeah, so obviously I moved one of the synths over here, so there was just this blatant open space that clearly needed something. Glad we have the rave pair back. I cannot wait for my new chair. This is like, yeah, it's kind of a lot. Oh, what whiskey am I rocking? This is nothing fancy. I think it's Maker's Mark. It's just whatever I happen to have, like, in the house. It's funny because like now I have like 2 chats, and it's like I need to. This one's like inside Streamlabs, and this one's like on the page, so it's kind of it's kind of confusing sometimes. By the way, thanks Brian, appreciate that. Just catching up here with the chat a little bit. No chair mention, although that should be, I don't know, we'll see if I get more questions like when I get the actual chair, you know. I can't ever bring myself to use chat and Streamlabs. It always, yeah. This is the first time I'm like trying it. Well, I have both just in case there's something I miss, like in the real chat. The walking home to you mix is amazing. Thank you. Glad you like it. Yeah, that was a fun one to do. It was definitely not like the most upbeat or like dancey remix I've done, but it was a lot of fun. Nostalgia. Yeah. I usually get into that. The bingo's not just for laughs, but to make this even more interactive, which is only a good thing. Yeah, I love the bingo. Hey Bells, in a Zoom meeting with my department friends. That's a pretty good way to do meetings. Sometimes it's funny because like if there's like a meeting that I really didn't want to be a part of, I would have like a laptop with Factorio off to the side, so it looked like I was staring at the screen, but really I was like just playing Factorio. Oh, okay. The hype train already started. Thank you for the sub. Appreciate that. Was super glad to recently find out your stream. Is there a reason most of your streams are in C? Do you just have most material in that key? It's like the best middle ground in between a lot of stuff. So C major is pretty common, and this is hard to. It's hard to like. I get really distracted when the hype train is going. It was just like kind of the easiest, most convenient key to play in, you know, basically. And I write a lot of my songs in C, so it's just kind of easy. It's nothing particular about C. It just happened to be a choice. Thanks for the sub, Deja. Appreciate that. And Stonix, appreciate that. Santa. It's funny that you were a Twitch Prime sub. Okay, now because we've got the hype train going, I have to play some music. Let's get into some music. Now I'm like super self-conscious about it. Yeah, like, who's this Dre you're talking about? Thank you guys, appreciate it. She's so passed out.
We'll see creation come undone. These bones that bound us will be gone.
Thank you, Deja. Appreciate that.
We'll stir our spirits till we're one. The softest shadows will become. We'll see creation come undone. These bones that bound us will be gone. We'll stir our spirits till we're one. The softest shadows will become.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Yeah, how do we get the Junicorn back? Like, actually, I have like a little hat for her. Thank you. Thank you guys so much. We already got level 5. This is insane. I always love this end section, like the chords from the Porter original. J-Hug, thank you. Appreciate that. Man, you guys, this is crazy. Okay, I'll be right back. I swear this will be worth it. Deja, I don't, no, unfortunately I don't have any samples from Virtual Self. It was just, I only worked on Sea of Voices, so that's the only thing I have. Okay, I will be right back. I swear this is worth it. Look at that. Talking about a Junicorn. This is about the closest thing I can get to a Junicorn. It's a Juno with a hat. She was sleeping. Oh, you wanted to? Let's see what happened. Was that not worth it? I think that was worth it. Yeah, she actually hates hats, but it was quick, it was short. Usually if I take photos of them, I usually have to like set up everything, set the cameras up, set it to like automatically take a photo every second, and then quickly put the hat on, take a photo, and then like leave them alone, because otherwise they get feisty. By the way, is the BTTV stuff working or whatever it's called? A bingo box for lint roller too. Nice. Okay, so it is working. Oh, oh, see, that's what's weird is like in Streamlabs it's not working, but over here it does. Here, let me see if I can turn it on, because I feel like there was an option in here. Not that it's really that important, but I feel like there was an option at some point, but whatever. Yeah, so I guess yeah, whatever. You guys can probably explain it better than me. I just found out about this recently and set it up. So I got to use like Bread Party, Pepe Jam, and others like that. But thank you guys, appreciate it. Thank you for the donations and the subs. Okay, it's working now. Cool, sick. Yeah, I like the Pepe with the with the lightsabers. It's pretty good. Yeah, it's a browser extension. Okay. Oh, we got a raid. What is up, everybody? What is up? How's it going? Welcome. Oh yeah, we so welcome new people to the stream. I do this several times. I do this 3 times a week, and it's mostly me kind of basically building a live stream setup and playing around with it. There are cats, there are lint rollers, there's bingo. Yeah, we like to have fun and just hang out. Caroline, welcome back. You made it. Maybe just for context, basically, I mean, you could maybe categorize this as live remixing, but it's maybe not quite that, because I'm essentially sort of improvising with samples that I've already written from previous remixes and things like that. Oh, what's up, Pat? How's it going? Shout out to everybody that came to the stream yesterday like earlier today with Pat. That was great. That was a lot of fun. Okay, so quick run through. So this is kind of like having 16 CDJs. So this is now controlling the modular. This is basically just like the equivalent of a monosynth, so it looks fancier than it really is, but... So I have an oscillator called the... Here, let me... I don't know if you can really see that, but... The Richter Oscillator 2. I got it, it's made by Maleko here in Portland, Oregon. So it's pretty cool. A MIDI toolbox like for an LFO. The Korgasmatron, which I love, is a great filter. It's like it has basically two filters in one. And then an ADSR, I like to control make it plucky, or make it kind of soft edges, you know. And then on the bottom, and then a VCA to amplify the sound, right? And then at the bottom, I have a whole bunch of effects that I can send to it. So over here on the first one, I think I have the Echophone by Make Noise. Basically a fancy delay. And then I have this other audio damage delay here, which I really like. It's funny because I used to use the plugin all the time. It's nice to have like the physical thing. And then there's this distortion that I was using a little bit earlier. It's not to use all the time, right? But it's kind of fun. So that's just the modular. And then we move into the bass, which is this. Oh, this doesn't do anything anymore. Never mind. These don't do anything. Okay. This is just a bass from a JX03, and it's basically run by MIDI on the computer. So yeah, I guess it's been kind of a second since I've like run down this whole thing, but and this is the JU06, the Juno, and this is actually running the same melodies as the modular, so I can double up. Deja, yeah, it's like it's like a 16-channel mixer, rather than 2 or 4 basically. I noticed some of the other questions. I'll get to them in a second. Okay, so where was I? Okay, Juno, and then I can add the JP08, which usually plays chords. Let me give you another example here. So so it's just this synth running here, and I can add effects on it. And I can also turn on an arpeggiator, and change the direction. So if I wanted to go, I think this is down. Or no, it's up first, and then down. And then both. I think that's how it works. And then this is like sort of the sample. This is like a track that basically turns on this side. And from here I can turn. There's like glitter on this, great. So this is a bank of samples, like a bass line also. Like a guitar from my Temper Trap remix. Oh, this isn't playing anything right now, but... And now there's this, okay. This is a piano from Temper Trap as well. Here, let me play... This is from my Youngblood Hawk remix. Glitter, I have questions. But I haven't like actually gone through these in a while. Okay, so I can basically turn on any of these at any time I want, and then this is just like a sine wave oscillator following the Juno melody. So this and this, and the mod. So I can get pretty, I have a lot of options here to play with, basically. And then vocal samples on these two. And I can do like beat repeats, like stuff like that. These are just chopped up vocal samples that I have, and then drums, of course. And they usually mix in between 2 different samples, so this is sample 1. And these are made by my friend Jeff, by the way, Jeff Brodsky. Splice pack incoming soon. Okay, then I already kind of talked about some of these samples, but then there's like a main vocal sample. And then this is a global, basically like a global filter. So, yeah, good old Jeff. Shout out to Jeff. Just so I can, so I can basically like bring out the entire, like everything, and then keep the vocal going. So let me give you an example here.
Run around, throwing that dirt all on my name. Cause you knew that I'd call you up. You can go around every party in LA. Cause you knew that I'd be
So right now I have
the
all the music kind of filtered out, basically.
Perfume regret. You got me thinking about when you were mine. Ooh, and now I'm all up on you. What you expect? But you're not coming home with me tonight. You just want attention. You don't want my heart. Maybe you just hate the thought of me with someone new. You just want attention. I knew from the start. You're just making sure I'm never getting over you.
Prepubescent Charlie. Yeah. Anyway, so that's kind of the idea, is that.
You've been run around, throwing that.
Anyway, I'll play that one like properly after, but for now that was just to kind of show it off a little bit. Yeah, somebody was asking about like why I have everything in C. It's basically just a convenience thing. It's so I can kind of play anything, and it should more or less work together, right? Okay, let me get into some questions here. It's funny that autotune is like freaking out on one of those notes. So it's okay. Yeah, somebody always asks where I'm located. Yeah, it is a lot of gear, but then again, you know, it's I don't know, it's definitely not all necessary. I started with software, so it's you don't need it, you know. If anybody tells you you need a specific plugin or something like that, they're probably just trying to sell you something. Like if you just get like a regular DAW like Ableton or anything like that, you pretty much have most of the stuff you need. I don't think I'm using any. Yeah, I am using a Max for Live like arpeggiator, but only because I wanted control over the swing. So here, let me show you that. So that turns on the swing. And this turns it off. Now it's more straight. So that's why I needed one that was like in Max for Live format, basically. Because the built-in Ableton one actually doesn't have that. Pat, is Jeff doing one? Jeff's doing like a full drum pack. Like it's gonna be sick. It's actually a lot of these samples. He just he let me use them first. So. I understand none of this, but love all of this. Yeah, well, I don't try to dwell on the tech too much and just try to do, you know, kind of play around and if you want to call it a performance, I guess. I am drinking whiskey right now. Makers. Do you really know what every single knob does? Yeah, well, because I had to set this up manually, so yeah. It's not that it looks more complicated than it really is. Again, these are filters. On the bottom is, these are all sends. So actually all of these do the same exact thing, except on different tracks. So for example, this vocal here, this adds an effect to it. So yeah, so that's it. So like I don't have to, and these are just filters at the top, so I can filter it down. Filters are amazing. You should use more. Okay. Is it better to start with software? I mean, start with whatever you feel comfortable with. I mean, it really depends on like where you're at. If you already know music, if you don't, I would say software is a pretty like low risk way to get into it. You know, you can just learn with some software and not buy like expensive equipment and whatnot. You know. Community, not cult. Oh, Logic's Pro stock plugins are not great, but Ableton does that. I don't have a whole lot of experience with Logic, but I would say for the most part, like I mean, with what I know with Ableton, like most of the stock stuff is like pretty solid. Honestly, could rotate the member stream because they're so the same ones. Yeah, Sound Toys is great. I mean, I don't think I'm not using Sound Toys in this current setup, but I use it in my regular setup all the time. Oh no, LaCroix ASMR. I have it's not LaCroix, but it's similar. I have this for later. Okay, I'm gonna turn that off. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not saying that, like, I'm definitely not saying that, like, third-party plugins are bad. Far from it. They're amazing. But I think I get caught up on this idea that you have to have other plugins. To me, it's a bit of marketing, you know? Like, if you really want it, I think you can make it work with what you have, I guess is sort of what I'm saying. It's like, a lot of people get stuck in this mentality. It's like, oh, if only I had that plugin, if only I had this or that. I think that's sort of what I'm cautioning, because I think that can be a really negative loop of where you sort of justify your maybe lack of work ethic or whatever by saying, it's like, well, if I had the right equipment, you know. That's sort of what I'm getting at. It's like, treat it as a limitation and try to be creative with it, you know. Are those knobs programmable? Can you add any effects to them? Yes, yeah. Basically everything is programmable. None of this is like built in. So if you notice, I'm on set to user mode. I don't know if you can really see that, but set to user mode here, and that means that this is just a blank canvas. So I just mapped it to different things. I don't understand what you're talking about, but I always enjoy listening to someone talk about the nuance of their field passion. Yeah, that's the one thing with music production. There's just so much, you know, there is a lot of nuance to it, you know. So you can actually do electronic music with just Ableton, nothing else. I mean, I think so. I think it's super powerful, but again, it's sort of just, the emphasis is not necessarily on like what program you're using. I just think like don't let the equipment or the plugins you have be your excuse for not making music, you know. That's kind of what I'm getting at. StarCraft levels of APM. Yeah. Okay. What are my favorite sound toy plugins? Little Alter Boy is amazing. I really like Echo Boy. I use that a lot, pretty much on every track actually. Hidden Soda. It isn't soda technically. I mean, yeah. Bubbly is super off-brand, dude. Actually, do you know why I have Bubbly and not LaCroix? Because because I'm lazy and I bought everything off of Amazon Prime Now, which if you've never experienced this, it's worth it. I think I think they have it in most cities at this point, but it's basically like 1 hour delivery of anything. I mean, it's somewhat limited actually. So they only had bubbly and not LaCroix, so I ordered a whole bunch of that. Okay, I'm getting behind on all this. How's that focus? Okay, I'm a musician. I've been studying for 16 years, and now I want to do electronic music and be a producer. What do you recommend? I mean, especially since you already have that background, I would definitely get into Ableton and learn how to, mess around with MIDI, and yeah, and then just like dive into the world of like electronic sound design. It's pretty fun. So yeah, Ableton Live for sure. It's what you put into what you have, make the most of what you have, and as you get new gear, you want to learn, expand your technique. Yeah, like I've gone through phases of just like tons of acquisition, basically, like and just buying a ton of stuff, and to the point where I basically like filled up my room and I don't have space for anymore. So I guess what I'm getting at is like once I kind of filled up my room, I was sort of forced to just work with what I have, which sounds ridiculous, but I'm glad that I did, because now I know the instruments that I have, I know them pretty well, Yeah, the stock plugins are pretty solid, I think. I'm in agreement that you can make just about anything with stock plugins and no hardware, but do you feel like hardware was a game changer in your production? Yeah, so there are benefits to hardware, and this is maybe a little bit more subjective and more personal, but what I like about hardware and like physical knobs and whatever, to be honest, like, I mean, this is obviously all digital, this is analog, but what I actually like about it is the tactile feel and the sort of like analog gear can be kind of like, how should I explain this? It can be temperamental. It can kind of mess up, and like it can do things that you don't expect. So that's kind of what I liked about it, and there's like happy accidents, Yeah, that's what I like out of it, and that's what I like. I bring that into my music. I embrace imperfection, I guess, is sort of what I'm getting at. And with analog, you tend to have more imperfection. And digital, I think when it first came around, it was like, sweet, we never have to deal with imperfection again. And then I think after a while we realized, like, oh, that was actually a good thing. Why did we get rid of that? So that's why you see so much software like trying to emulate hardware in a sense, because it's like it's like a vibe or something. I don't know. Yeah, it is one of my favorite things about being a musician is the gear. I'm like obviously pretty technical and interested in that kind of stuff. So it's fun to have all these toys, and it's a part of it's definitely part of the experience. How important is the proper lint roller to the raw feel? Definitely pretty key. I lint roll this like desk because it gets caked in fur. Pop, not soda. No, I'm not one of those. Yeah, it's more fun to like sort of like learn, like hit the limit of like what your gear can do, and then expand. Not like just like expand for the sake of expanding just because you can, I'm working multiple brands for sponsorships. Actually, there has been a little bit of progress there. I mean, nothing official yet, but I think like maybe a cat thing is gonna happen. So cats are gonna get some free treats and stuff. It's gonna be fun. Yeah, that'll be a good time. Yeah, chat's like faster. Okay, I need to catch up. Okay, I'm just gonna skim through a little bit. Could you show us the routing on the modular system works? Let me see if I can. Yeah, basically from MIDI. Okay, so from MIDI you're getting gate that's going into the ADSR and the dual VCA. So no, never mind. It's a gate going into the ADSR, and then from the ADSR it's going into the VCA, and then the CV from the MIDI is going to the oscillator, which is then going through the filter, and then the ADSR is triggering the VCA, which has the input of the filter, which opens it up. Basically, this is not helpful. And then from the VCA is basically going into this mixer, and then that's what's coming in. This is not helpful. I feel like I'm just yeah. Okay, I need to catch up here. Am I able to? Okay, never mind. You already answered that. Clearly, cats are miserable and require more treats. Yes. Yeah, no music anywhere. Just go through the photon expander and bandpass with the myopic sequencer. I don't have a sequencer. I'm using the computer as a sequencer. Look, I know those terms are like kind of, I don't know, they sound complicated, but it really, like when you understand the very basic concepts, it's all kind of the same stuff. Like this is the same as this. It's just, this looks a lot more complicated. It's basically, once you know all the elements, like, again, you probably can't really see this on maybe from the top camera. These are sort of divided into little sections. Now imagine that each of those sections, for example, like this envelope right here, the envelope is this right here. It's just a different format. And the main difference is that this thing, you plug it in manually, and this is already pre-plugged basically, if that makes sense. And it's all the same thing, like LFO, DCO, VCF, VCA, it's all the same stuff. They're just, it's different formats. I like this sample, I'm gonna loop that. properly.
Run around, throwing that dirt all on my name. 'Cause you knew that I knew that I knew that I'd call you up. You've been going around every party in LA. 'Cause you knew that I knew that I knew that I'd be at one. Oh, I know that dress is karma, perfume regret. You got me thinking about when you were mine. Oh, and now I'm all up on you. What you expect? But you're not coming home with me tonight. You just want attention. You don't want my heart. Maybe you just hate the thought of me with someone new. Yeah, you just want attention. I knew from the start. You're just making sure I'm never getting over you. Cause you knew that I knew that I knew that I'd call you up. Baby, another way, right? You're standing face to face. You already know that you won. Oh, I know that dress is karma, perfume regret. You got me thinking about when you were mine. Oh, and now I'm all up on you. What you expect? But you're not coming home with me tonight. You just want attention. You don't want my heart. Maybe you just hate the thought of me with someone new. Yeah, you just want attention. I know from the start. You're just making sure I'm never getting over you. You just want attention. You don't want my heart. Maybe you just hate the thought of me with someone new. Yeah, you just want attention. I know from the start. You're just making sure I'm never getting over you. You just want attention. You don't want my heart. Maybe you just hate the thought of me with someone new. Yeah, you just want attention. I know from the start. You're just making sure I'm never getting over you. You just want attention. You don't want my heart. Maybe you just hate the thought of me with someone new. Yeah, you just want attention. I know from the start. You're just making sure I'm never getting over you. You just want attention. You don't want my heart. Maybe you just hate the thought of me with someone new. Yeah, you just want attention. I know from the start.
Yeah, the cats are super into it. It's funny, the speakers are actually off.
What you said, because you loved a girl, she wrecked your head. Oh, you loved a girl, she left you dead. Cheap wine, watching VHS. Singing Johnny Cash, I want the line. Oh, Johnny Cash, because you're mine. Bed on the floor, but not fall asleep and stare out the window. Cover me. Running through all days. Mixtapes and magazines. Never stays the same. But Polaroids and lovable eyes. Running through all days. Mixtapes and magazines. Never stays the same. But young blood, first love.
Thank you, son. I appreciate that. Okay, let's see what I got. I haven't done Dancing Kitties yet. Newcomer asked about Kate 6. Yes, got that. Stranger ego vocal sample. Yes. This is because like I could totally like. This doesn't count for me, but it's kind of fun. Hoping for Barnyard Mayhem before hour 3. Oh wait, I think somebody was asking for nostalgia, right? I don't know if I have the full vocal. Gets kind of annoying. Oh, wait. Hold on. I got something. Okay. Clearly prepared for this. Hoping to speak Portuguese to you. Am I gonna do it? Sim, eu falo português. By the way, I think I'm catching wind that yeah. Oh, pouquinho de português. I'm getting wind that Twitch is really supporting me, so I think I might be getting promoted on like Tuesdays most of the time. I don't know if it's like a given, but I think pretty commonly. So Cabal stock, yeah. Yeah, I know. It's like probably most people that speak Portuguese are Brazilian, right? Just population-wise. Yeah, the front page. By the way, like I've mentioned this on stream before, but like the chat is like really important to me. I think it's really important to the experience of this stream and all that. So like, even as things grow, I'm gonna make sure that that this is like, you know, that this sort of doesn't get lost in like the chaos, which it can be from time to time. So if at some point I might need to, like, right now it's follower only, which I think is fine. I think for the most part it's like, it's pretty yeah, that's true, you can put it in slow mode. Yeah, maybe that's sort of a good stopgap, but at one point, I mean, if it gets to it, I'll make it sub only. But like, I don't know, I don't really want to do that, but like only in the interest of like keeping it from like being you know, chaotic, which it hasn't really gotten there yet. So I think that's good. But like on some of these like front page streams, sometimes with like 20,000 people, like it gets a little intense. Even though a lot of the people on the front page are just passive, you know. That's true. Yeah. The mods can also help. But as a sort of a like last resort. Anyway, I think my my point is that my point is that the chat is important. It's not something like, I'm not like, oh, I gotta grow the channel as big as possible, get as many, you know, people chatting as possible. Like that's not the goal, you know. Yeah, it's true. There's always the Discord, you know. Yeah. Oh yeah, rapariga means a totally different thing in Brazilian Portuguese, but in Portuguese from Portugal, where I'm from, is very much an okay word. It's funny because I only really realized that after somebody pointed it out to me after the album was out, and I was like, yeah, whatever, it's fine. Maybe the Brazilian crew will finally realize I exist, you know. Oh, I got to ban a spammer, so it's fine. That is one of the bingo boxes is me banning somebody, so. All right, nostalgia. That's my favorite part of how much you talk to us. I mean, yeah, what's the point? Like, what are you streaming for if you're not like talking to your audience? You know, I feel like this is like, you know, this is a different medium. This isn't like, I'm not trying to put on, like, this isn't a show, you know, in the traditional sense. Like, I'm not here playing a typical show for you guys, you know. Oh yeah, the guy that got trolled by the Ellie sample. Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, even at concerts, performers are expected to chat a little, but it's still like, it's like just saying something in between songs, and then somebody yells something obnoxious, like Freebird, whatever, and you know, then it's like, okay, all right, here we go.
If you're speaking to me as though I'm not in the room, you're not either. All these patterns from your past, I'm here under false pretense as a witness. To your monologue when I could be anyone, you'd still be stuck in your story. I wish you could see your history is chaining you. We could let go and never lose. Nostalgia is killing us. I wish you could see your history is chaining you. We could let go and never lose. Nostalgia is killing us. I am a body in space, slipping in and out of doors, nothing more. I once lost years of my life, searching through day and night for a form that shifted shape 100 times. The key can't be retracing my memory. I'd still be stuck in my story. Nostalgia is killing us. No use in going through all pain, it'll come again. The one before won't be the last, of course we'll love again. I wish you could see your history is chaining you. We could let go and never lose. Nostalgia is killing us. I wish you could see your history is chaining you. We could let go and never lose. Nostalgia is killing us. I wish you could see. I wish you could see. I wish you could see. Your history is chaining you. We could let go and never see. Nostalgia is killing us.
Yeah, no worries, of course. Okay, are your vocals samples pitched up and down prior to the stream, or are you doing this live? Caroline, I think I saw your question earlier. It's all the pitching. Like basically, I tune everything to C. We're kind of talking about it a little bit earlier. So I pitch all of these samples into the same key. So when I'm streaming, I could just like pick whatever and it works, you know. So it's a little bit of prep work, but nothing too crazy. Yeah. So it's a remix of this artist named Do Perot. I think that's how you say it. That I did a couple years ago. And that was sort of like a version of it, but not. Yeah, it's a little different. But so the vocal is a little bit pitched. I sort of just embrace it, you know. Oh yeah, Sonics. I think I saw your question too. It's like. You know, I could basically hit select all, and then, well, there's a lot of like custom MIDI stuff that would probably get thrown off. It is possible. It's just not as easy, you know, as it should be probably. I do want to add that is one thing on sort of the roadmap for this whatever it is. I would like to be able to change keys. Because it's capable of it. It's just a matter of automating it because I have so much going on, you know. Have you tried remixing any 90s songs or anything old school? I mean, not officially. Just because like most of the like actual remixes I do are like for hire basically, but I'm trying to think of like anything from the 90s. Now that I think about it, I mean, I've done some stuff from the 80s, but I guess not really technically from the 90s. I guess All-Star, that is true. That is... do you use guitar pedals? Oh, yes. Okay, so I'm gonna take this sample and I'm gonna send it to these two pedals right here. Sample probably sounds weird on its own, but yeah, no, there's I like incorporating guitar pedals into music, you know, typical music production. You know, that's actually if you're thanks for the sub, Voodoo, appreciate that. If you want to start incorporating hardware into your setup, first of all, you need a sound card that can do that, so there is that. But like guitar pedals are a very affordable way to just get like some pretty cool, interesting effects, you know, for certain things, and like incorporate some hardware into your setup. I definitely do it all the time. You can't really see it, but maybe from the wide angle, I have. Oh, Juno, it's okay. I have like a delay and an eventide. You guys can't really see it, but I have, yeah. When did I start music? Probably when technically 13 when I started playing guitar. But really, like, I started recording my own like little. Me and my friend, we'd record these like talk shows and stuff, and there was like musical interludes when I was like 10. So really, I kind of had an early start, you know. I think it's funny, but until you really start producing, people don't realize how much production is just listening to 4 to 8 bar loop sound over and over. Yeah. It's very true. There's a lot of repetition. In fact, like I have speakers and whatnot, but I like for the like really obnoxious looping kind of stuff, if I'm fixing a vocal or something, I usually put on headphones, just because like it can get like grating, you know. Well, you know, technically, my friend Carl did a remix for Depeche Mode, as part of RAC at the time, but not. That wasn't me. That was him. Oh, thanks for the sub, Jerome. Jerome 69. Nice. Yeah, we need Nickelback 420 to hang out with Jerome 69. It is awesome to see what you're doing. That you're doing what you love for a living. Yeah. It's not like it was like a breeze to like get into this line of work or whatever. It's certainly actually a very difficult type of work to get into. But you know, it's funny because I had this college professor that would always, he had this, he was actually not a great professor, but he said something that stuck with me, which is that like you can kind of follow your own path, and you'll be sort of stressed out like every single day of your life, but it'll be worth it. So like that kind of stuck with me in the sense of like, especially early on, like really going for it. Like for example, like I moved to Portland after college, and low-key dissed his former professor. Actually, I'll get to my professor in a second. But I like moved to Portland with like $400 in my bank account, like no real plan, no job, no anything. I was just like, I'm going to make this happen, and I kind of did. So, and I've never really had like a real job, so I'm pretty proud of that, you know. And it wasn't easy or anything like that. It was certainly quite stressful, but I'm glad I put in the effort and you know, kind of made a career for myself and kind of just do my thing, you know. So okay, my professor, I'm not gonna name him, but I went to this school called Greenville College. It's in the middle of Illinois, and actually Southern Illinois, and yeah. So he anyway. So I went to this school. It was pretty small, and I was in a music business program and whatnot. And I'm actually convinced that this professor may have had some experience in the music industry at some point, but I'm actually convinced he's a con man, and that his con is basically he had a bit of experience early on in the music industry, and then he goes from like school to school, basically like conning his way into these small schools, convincing them it's like, oh yeah, I worked with so and so. And then after the fact, after I actually started working in the music industry, like nobody has any idea who he is. Like even some of the people that he mentioned were like, no, I have no idea what you're talking about. I have no idea who this person is. So I think that's his game. He switches school like every year or two. And I think it's because the school finds out that he's like, oh, his credentials are actually not fake, but we don't want to look bad. So we just kind of like let it slide, and then he keeps going from school to school, basically conning his way into these small, tiny music programs where they don't know anybody in the music industry, so there's nobody to check, you know. And because he has sort of this reputation of like going from school to school, people are like, oh well, he's taught at this and this school, so he's clearly legitimate. So it's like this super sketchy situation. He like claimed to like know Kurt Cobain and like work with Snoop Dogg, and like it's like nah dude. I want to ask this in the nicest way possible, but your streams tend to sound the same. Are you working on a specific song? Can you give us a different sound every now and then? So no, it's a fair comment, because I am kind of playing a lot of the same samples, and it's in the same key, so I know how I like that is sort of a concern, like how like I don't want it to sound too samey, you know. And it's a fine line in between like a cohesive thing versus something that sort of sounds the same. But I feel like if you know what's going on behind the scenes, it's sort of like you kind of get it, you know. So what I'd say that my counter argument is that this is actually like I'm building like a system, and I'm kind of bringing people along for the ride. So I'm not working on a song, or I'm not working on anything like that. It's sort of like, it's like, come hang out while I build this live streaming system and like talk to you guys and like hang out, basically. My old cop, by the way, I don't want to name him personally, because it's like only because like everything that I'm saying is just my own opinion. I don't like have any actual facts, you know. So that, yeah, I mean, maybe somebody would actually like look into this, but my previous accounting professor is in court for misusing federal funds. Wow, that's crazy. Is I need to move out of my parents' place. Yeah, I feel you. Is Portland still cheap? You know, I don't think that Portland is necessarily super cheap. Oh, we got a deep clean. It's, I mean, I feel it's actually it's pretty cheap in terms of like West Coast, you know, like a West Coast city, but it's still somewhat expensive. It's going up right now. I got lucky because I bought my place a couple years ago, so like I haven't really felt like the fluctuation of rent or whatever. But I have a couple of friends that like have told me that it's gone up considerably. So yeah. But as far as like the West Coast goes, it's definitely cheaper than Seattle and definitely cheaper than like most other places. Mild Cop, well, hit me up over Twitch or whatever, or Whisper or whatever. I'll send you there. I just don't want to out them publicly. Yeah, Seattle's super nice, but it's quite expensive. I mean, so is San Francisco, and definitely LA. I mean, LA is actually a little bit more affordable than most. Thanks for the sub, Noel Leosis. Split the module a little bit. Wait, what are we talking about? Music theory here? I'm just catching up. Yeah, I definitely don't want to shy anybody away from music theory or anything like that. I'm not classically trained or anything like that, so I don't know. I assume maybe it would benefit me in some degree, but the barrier for me to start learning music theory like properly, I basically have to relearn everything, and I just don't really want to. So, yeah. Yeah, nobody can afford Vancouver, BC. Yeah, it's yeah, Vancouver especially, it's insane. Do you ever think about going back to Portugal? No, not really. I've sort of made my life in the US. And, you know, I have dual citizenship, so I can kind of go to both. But the taxes are so high in Portugal. It's like 50%. I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Best bass line I've ever heard. Thank you. Appreciate that. Speaking of French. I'm friends with a few guys on the Silk music label, and some of them are classically trained in theory, and others are not. But all the music's great. Yeah, it's definitely not like a prerequisite or anything. Yeah, I agree. Like, I mean, it's all music, right? Like, if it resonates with you personally, then that's sort of the intended effect, right? Like, if you're just making something complex for the sake of complexity, it's not that interesting. Okay, let me change the melody here of the modular so I can play with something fun here. It's funny because these are completely out of time. That's analog for you, I guess. Kind of funny to have something so like kind of like weird looking, and then it's just like this is literally all it's doing. It's like, cool guys. You're only limited by your imagination. Bobo, come here, buddy. Yep, it's getting time to hungry time. That's how you know it's live, because I meant to start a vocal right there, and then I missed my cue because this was turned down. Okay, now for real.
I could lift you up. I could show you what you wanna see and take you where you wanna be. You could be my luck. Even if the sky is falling down, I know that we'll be safe and sound. We're safe and sound. I can feel your cup. You know my river won't evaporate. This world we still appreciate. You could be my luck. Even in a hurricane.
safe and sound. Ellie, stop calling me.
Show you what you wanna see and take you where you wanna be. You could be my luck. Even if the sky is falling down, I know that we'll be safe and sound. I can lift you up. I can show you what you wanna see and take you where you wanna be. You could be my luck. Even if the sky is falling down, I know that we'll be safe and sound. We're 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 safe and sound.
Oh God, Elliot's calling me again. Any newish producers have a SoundCloud link you want to drop? I love supporting. I don't know about SoundCloud specifically. Actually, sort of my default answer is only because like I actually put a lot of time and effort into this, but I have a Spotify playlist. So I think this is the command. It's fave songs. And yeah, that's it. Okay, cool. So that has a Spotify playlist. So basically like everything that I found recently, I just throw it in there. So if you just search by like newest, that's basically what I'm listening to. Okay. Did you have a festival run planned before COVID? No, the festivals were planned for next year, which are not happening now. Everything is getting pushed back. I had a tour that was booked, and I had to push back. Still don't have official dates, but most likely next year at this point. A whole bunch of venues shut down, including the Satellite in LA today, which is kind of sad. Okay, I've been on a big losing streak in League of Legends recently, and I found your channel and played in the background of all my games. That's the power. It's the power of music. Oh wait, did we just get raided? Oliver in the house. What is up? What is up? Let's get some lint rollers in the chat for Oliver. What is up, everybody? Yeah, the Satellite got shut down. It's crazy, right? Like, legendary venue. Welcome everybody. How's it going? Thanks for the raid. Thanks for the raid, Vaughn. Appreciate that. Oh, we got the deep clean. Oh, can't see it. Never mind. So I'm gonna take this moment to shout out Oliver's amazing splice pack, which you should all go check out. In addition to his music, obviously, and yeah, I think it's pretty awesome. It's funny because like I'm just gonna talk about Vaughn since he's in here, but basically like it's funny like amongst like the producer crew, whatever people, people that like are into this type of thing. And people that are like into this kind of thing, like everybody is like, oh, how do they do that? It's like, how did he do that? It's like, there's always like sort of a guessing game. It's like, damn, like, how did he figure that out? Like, I don't know. He's always kind of like one step ahead, and it's fun. It's fun. Yeah, I love that CPU. That CPU burning emote. It's pretty fun. I feel like maybe there's a bit of crossover. What's up? There's maybe like a bit of crossover in terms of people that have seen both streams, but maybe. Crossover subs represent. I think there's probably a bit of crossover, but what maybe for those of you that were that are new, this is a live streaming setup. This is me basically improvising, talking to the chat, playing a bunch of different samples, looping things, playing songs-ish kind of thing. It's pretty loose. We like to have fun, and it's not very serious. And yeah, it's just I have like a whole bunch of faders that do a bunch of different things, and just welcome to the stream. Appreciate you guys. Again, thank you for the raid. Appreciate that. How we doing? ASMR moment. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm gonna do that one because that's pretty good. That was a pretty good one. You know what? I did see the Henry Cavill video. That was great. I didn't watch the whole thing. I only saw like all the people talking about it. But yeah, he's like one of us. Yeah, the most wholesome PC build ever with his like gigantic arms, like. Yeah, I think maybe like because I'm usually streaming for like 6 to 9 PST. It's kind of yeah, there's maybe like an overlap for people that do the afternoon stream and those that do like the nighttime stream. Oh wait, I left this on. Stranger sample? Okay. I feel like now I'm just doing it because yeah, specify vocal. I didn't subject. I actually don't have memorized setup. Sorry. How am I using external instruments? So everything that you're seeing is plugged into this Mac. Everything audio is on the Mac, and all the streaming stuff is running from a separate computer, so none of that interacts. So all the OBS stuff is all running on a separate computer that just deals with cameras in like 2 channels basically. So I like to keep things separate, so then I don't have to worry about like, you know, the CPU being too heavy, because this is pretty intense on the computer. Yeah, okay, so I need Matthew Coma in my stream sometime soon. So, okay, one thing that I want to do with the streams, actually, I don't know if it'll be maybe it'll be a consistent thing, but I want to do, basically, I want to do, like, interviews, kind of like just bring on, you know, friends, DJ friends. Maybe I'll convince Vaughn to jump on, and maybe just like talk about recording, or talk about like something kind of like on that, you know, maybe the experience of being an artist or whatever. So subject, I'm just gonna keep it like, I'm just gonna keep saying next stream, and then so you keep showing up. The other thing about Memrise is it's pretty slow, so it's tricky. Yeah, so I want to do like maybe kind of interview stuff. Maybe it's more akin to maybe a podcast-ish type of thing. I don't know. I'm kind of sort of experimenting with the stream. I want to keep it interesting and change it up. You know, definitely. Obviously, the music stuff will be there, but and maybe do, in addition to all of this, in addition to the 3 times, we might do some gaming stuff as well. Yeah, for the boy release, we had yeah, we did like sort of like a mini festival with a bunch of people. Yeah, holy. I should just keep that on like a fader. Just, it's dedicated fader, you know. Clickbait Meister. This is strawberry. I'm not in love with strawberry. Honestly, like, I just like sparkling water. I don't even need a flavor. Like, yeah, when Amranov shows up again. Bobo, come here. I actually have met Ellie. We in Bali, of all places. We were playing a festival there. She's super nice. But I'm not like friends or anything. Yeah, anything strawberry reminds me of those grandma strawberry candies. Yeah. All right, she like dated Skrillex or something. Thanks, Eli. I appreciate that. What synths are in the back? I'll name them, but luckily for you, I have affiliate links for all of this stuff. So if you go to oh, I messed that up. Steve with the save. Yeah, anyway. No, it's a bunch of Roland stuff. So it's like they're basically emulating like old equipment. So you know, the JX03 is an emulation of the JX, and the Juno 106 and the Jupiter 8. So sort of like the new emulations of them. And this is a modular, obviously.
But the crest rides into the sea. The city, it seems meaningless and vague, but I'm giddy and I'm feeling it just like a wave. Do, do. It's full of intangibles
that.
and friends I've yet to meet. From up here on the canyon, all the cars on the freeway through the city flow like veins of stars. Let's go for a ride. Let's go for a ride. They say the smog makes the sunsets look the way they do, like the sun is getting undressed right before the moon. They say the smog makes the sunsets look the way they do, like the sun is getting undressed right before the moon. Let's go for a ride. Let's go for a ride.
I keep turning that up, not realizing it, but right, didn't Kanye drop out? I think he dropped out, right? Officially at this point. Yeah, best Kanye. No, I love 808s. It's great. Cat butt. He didn't file the paperwork for candidacy. Yeah. He also announced it like so far into the campaigns. Like it's like a little late. What's crazy is that I if he actually gave it enough time, I actually think he had a fair chance. As crazy as that sounds, but like at this short notice, yeah, it's just going to be disruptive. Yeah, I thought he was running the next cycle too, but then he said it was like this time. I was like, okay. But then we realized there's an album coming out too, and it's like, okay. Yeah, he's kind of a mystery. I mean, I don't know, like, part of me kind of wants to think that it's like all calculated and it's like some like giant marketing scheme, which, I mean, I'm not a fan of, but like, you know, at least he's like, you know, has his, like, he knows what he's doing, but at this point in time, I'm just not sure if he's actually that delusional or not, you know? So like it's kind of it's a weird one. I don't know how to take that. Yeah, it's like a really a real dick move to do that, like as a marketing scheme. Like it's pretty disruptive during like a pretty messed up time, right? I think Elon just endorsed him for the lulz, you know. I think Elon's probably actually an anarchist, and quite literally believes he is. Maybe we're all actually in Elon's simulation, and he's just like, he knows it, and he's just having fun, you know. We're actually all just figments of Elon's imagination, you know. Yeah, a lot of government subsidies and contracts for an anarchist. I mean, but that's what an anarchist would do, right? It's like just like messing with the system, taking advantage where it's. I don't know if that's actually what anarchists believe in, but I'm sure there's multiple flavors of it. I actually I follow Elon on Twitter because I think he's hilarious, but I do kind of love his brazen like carelessness. You know what I mean? Like he's like, everybody's like, oh, my stock price, you know, and he's just like, I don't care. like when he tweeted, I'll never forget it, when he tweeted like taking Tesla public funding, or taking Tesla public at 420, funding secured. I laughed so hard because that's so bold to do something like that. But is he a good influence in the world? I mean, I'd say overall yes, but I don't know. I mean, I understand the criticism against Elon, but then again, he's the only one that's getting us to space and doing all this other stuff. So like, like I'll take some memes if it gets us to space. You know, it's fine. Oh yeah, if Musk ran for president, I know he can't, but like, yeah, good luck to anybody running against him. Yeah, for sure. No, I love that he's sort of just initiated in many ways, and like with other people, obviously, initiated sort of this new space race. I think it's pretty cool. I think a lot of people gloss over it as sort of this like frivolous thing, but I'm actually of the opinion that it may not seem like super relevant right now, especially in light of everything happening. But I think as a long-term thing, it's definitely something to aspire to. Right? Because like, I mean, if you look back at like all the progress that NASA made back in the day, you know, so much technology that we take for granted today was developed because of that need, you know, even if there was probably an argument to be made at the time that it was somewhat frivolous. But anyway, all that to say, I'll get off my soapbox, but all that to say that I think we stand to benefit as a civilization from it, you know. Thoughts on the artist Justice. Justice is amazing. I feel like in early days I used to try to rip off Justice. I was like trying to sound like them because it was so, I mean, like everybody else, because it was such a unique sound. Yeah, I don't think Elon's actually going to run for president. That'd be a waste of his time. Yeah, the Marshall stage with the fake marshals, that was sick. That was awesome. Yeah, right. He literally can't, so it's not even a question. Yeah, they were probably the closest thing to like the good Daft Punk. I'm gonna go there. No, I'm not gonna hate on Daft Punk. I think Daft Punk's amazing. I'm not in love with the new album. I don't think it stood up. I don't think it really stood up over time. It was a great idea and probably really fun for them, but I don't think it really stood up to their previous albums. And I'm gonna say that. Have you heard the theory that Justice is Daft Punk? Well, it's I know that it's not, because they're, unless they like, some of them are paid actors, and then it's. Hey buddy, you want to come up here? Yes, you do. Okay. Elon will run for governor of Mars. Yeah, his kid's name or whatever. I mean, like, I actually, what I will say is, like, I don't like the idea that the artist needs to keep doing the same thing over and over again, but I think it's on the flip side of that, it's okay to not like their new material because sometimes it doesn't resonate. But I do want them to have the freedom to experiment and do different things, right? You know, I think that's important too. Buddy, how you doing? How are we doing? Oh, it's past 8 o'clock. That's why. I still got Kanye going. I don't even have like any of the other part of the vocal. I'm here, notice me. Yeah, feed me, peasant. That's pretty much his general demeanor. The only homework I liked growing up was Daft Punk homework. Yeah, accurate. Okay, so I'm going to go feed them, but I'm going to leave you with something. Maybe as a precursor. Maybe I'll leave you like with just like an acapella, just a little. Ellie. Oh my god. Actually, maybe I'll just do like a really low-key synth, and then I'll play the acapella, the full song of Ellie, because I'm not gonna play it. Okay, that's a little bit better. Okay, I'm gonna go feed them, and I'll be right back. Let me just make sure this is working.
I had a way.
Okay, be right back.
Losing it all on my own. I had a heart then, but the queen has been overthrown, and I'm not sleeping now. The dark is too hard to beat, and I'm not keeping now the strength I need to push me. You show the lights that stop me, turn to stone. You shine it when I'm alone, and so I tell myself that I'll be strong, dreaming when they're gone, 'cause they're calling, calling, calling me home, calling, calling, calling home. You show the lights that stop me, turn to stone. You shine it when I'm alone. Noises I play within my head, touch my own skin and hope they're still breathing. And I think back to when my brother and my sister trapped in an unknown place. The only time I feel safe. You show the lights that stop me, turn to stone. You shine it when I'm alone, and so I tell myself that I'll
I was trying to sing too.
strong, dreaming when they're gone, 'cause they're calling, calling, calling me home, calling, calling, calling home. You show the lights that stop me, turn to stone. You shine it when I'm alone.
How we doing? Oh, the tuning. So I'm actually running auto tune on all these vocals, so that actually may not be the original tuning, right?
Stop me, turn to stone. You shine it when I'm alone, and so I tell myself that I'll be strong, dreaming when they're gone, 'cause they're calling, calling, calling me home, calling, calling, calling home. You show the lights that stop me, turn to stone. You shine it when I'm alone.
Thank you for the subs, Aimbutt and Friggs. A lot of funny usernames on Twitch, that is for sure. Oh, we got a hype train. Stunna, appreciate that. Tier 2. That's awesome. Thank you. Appreciate that. Okay. I think that calls for something here. Jayhawk, I mean, thank you. But, like, what are we already a level? Yeah. Okay, real quick. I saw you perform live at Webster Hall years ago. We're already at level 3. That's. Thank you guys, appreciate it. Okay, years ago, and it was one of the best shows I've ever seen. Thank you. That's awesome. I've seen a lot of shows. Your energy was amazing. Then I saw you DJ elsewhere. Great set. Was the pandemic over? Will you come back to New York City and play a live show? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was supposed to play Webster Hall like this month, so you know this is all kind of, you know, once it's back, I'll definitely be touring. But in the meantime, I'll be streaming, and I'm going to continue streaming after, you know. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. Santa Steve. Let's get some Santa Steves in the chat. Somebody was asking if I had played Webster Hall before, and yes, I have. some stuff situated here. Almost missed. I totally missed that one actually. Close enough, yeah. Train success. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. For those of you that are on Twitch a lot, that know more about the history of this platform than I do. Wait, what's the name of this emoji? PogChamp. Okay. I think it is that guy originally yeah. Wait, let me turn this down. Okay, there we go. Yes, that is the emote that I'm talking about. Is that guy? Does he do like? Is he like gaming content? Like I feel like what's his name? Because I think I met him actually, like way back in the day. Yeah. Okay, it's Gutex. Okay, I've met him. I've totally hung out with Gutex. Yes, that's so funny. That's so cool. I thought he looked familiar, and I was just like, what is going on? Yeah, I did. I've sort of been aware of his stuff for a while, and but I think it was like something at South by Southwest one year. We did like a little interview thing for him. But yeah, Poggers in the chat, boys. Thank you, Senna. I appreciate that. Yeah, Bo definitely thinks he earned a treat now. Thank you, Senna. I appreciate that.
just try to stay sober. It's eating you, and they say you are a monster, but what I see's a child. Your eyes are glowing red, and your tongue has caught on fire. You are golden, you are pure, you are
Bobo.
golden. You play up to them, but they're not all around. Don't be so rough with me when you are a gem, and they ask how I can love you when all they see is this. But I see the things that you can't contain, and what it does to you.
Thank you for the sub, Defs. Appreciate that. Yes, I mean, the sun is setting, but I'm in Portland, Oregon, so yeah, it's gonna set in probably like 5 minutes or so. You should do more Song Explorer type stuff. Yeah, for sure, I'd love to. I'm still kind of like, I want to find like a middle ground with these streams, like figure out what to do, because that isn't always interesting to everybody, so yeah. Oh, is Dropbox Share safe? I mean, it's about as safe if you just trust people to upload stuff that won't, I don't know. Technically, people can upload anything they want, and you can just, I mean, I think it's pretty safe, but yeah. People can technically upload anything they want. Yeah, I'm quite pleased with this studio. Like, it was, so I moved here in 2012 to this area. Basically, I didn't move into this apartment specifically, but I lived in I had a studio that was just like really dark all the time, and it was like not very inspiring, really. So when I was like looking at a new place to live, I definitely, like, quality of light was high on the list. And it's funny because, like, even though I do get like a fair amount of light, It's sort of north-ish facing, so it's not like I don't get a whole lot of direct sunlight. Yeah. How big is the apartment? About 2,000 square feet, I think. How do you like the Novation launch control? I mean, clearly I do. I mean, this was much more of like a touring thing because I can like stack them, and it's like pretty convenient. Great, now I messed up the angle. Gotta get that perfect, right? Yeah, I mean it's a little bit bigger than maybe perhaps a typical spot, but it was either that or getting a house or whatever. And this, it's like a condo, so it's like less maintenance and whatever. So it was like kind of easier. No, I've never done like a apartment tour. That'd be kind of, I don't know. I guess I could do it, but San Diego breweries better than Oregon breweries? Shots fired. Whew. Wait, there was a question about Oregon breweries. Oh yeah, favorite Oregon breweries. I'm not like a avid beer drinker in general. I definitely appreciate a good beer, but I'm not. I'm. But the you know what? There was actually one that was kind of near me that shut down, unfortunately, called. It wasn't like the best, but it was kind of like a local spot. And now I'm like totally spacing on the name. That's how important it was to me. Damn it. It's not Burnside Brewery. It's not that. It's like. Anyway, it'll come back to me at some point. But yeah, there's a couple good spots like around Portland. Muggs, can you imagine if I had like a fake Grammy? Just like, what would that say about me as a person? I feel weird enough about putting it in a slightly visible spot. I think it'd be pretty awkward if I put up a fake Grammy, right? It's a chocolate wrapped Grammy. Here, let me show you something. I think you can see this ish. You can kind of see that. So this is what you get for being a nominee. Wait, can you? Yeah, whatever. It's probably better here. This is what you get for being a nominee, which is kind of cool. So at least like even when you get nominated, at least you don't go home empty-handed. You know, that'd be kind of messed up. So I have two of these, and then the real deal. The Nobel Prize in music. That's pretty funny that somebody bought like a fake Grammy off of AliExpress. It's funny because when I was actually, so I don't know if you guys are familiar with the YouTube channel Unbox Therapy, but at the time I was actually gonna have it sent to him so he could unbox my Grammy or whatever. But then it got into weird stuff. You'd have to like send it through, like insure it through customs and all this. It got a little bit messy, and I decided not to. I was a little worried that it'd get lost in the mail, but yeah, so that almost happened. That would have been cool. Right, yeah, he's like he's in Canada, yeah, it would have been a cool video, but then again, actually the box that they sent it to you is like not that exciting. It's literally just like a box with a foam cut out, and then there's the Grammy. That's it. It's actually kind of weird when you win it, because you don't go home with it. You get it like a couple months later. So yeah. Yeah, it's like one dude that makes all the Grammys, I think in either Michigan or Wisconsin or something like that, yeah. Did you do a pill in Ibiza? Ibiza, sorry. No. I've worked with Mike Posner though. Drunk Ellie. What's up, Pat? so slow. Yeah, Washtag's awesome. How would you rate Deadmau5's studio setup? I mean, I think it's awesome. I think it's great. It's kind of ridiculous in the best way possible, you know. I think one of the issues you might run into is just because like it's a big studio, at least from what I've seen, it's a big studio, so he might have a hard time getting certain synths to connect to each other unless he's running like really long CV cables, but maybe he's not even doing any of that. So yeah, but I think it's a great setup. Sort of like it's maybe not exactly my particular lane or like the kind of studio that I want, but I mean the gear that he has is kind of insane. I would hope, kind of like going back to what I was talking about earlier, I would hope that he uses all of it, right? You know, because in my own experience, I went through a period where I just bought a ton of stuff and then didn't use a lot of it. And then eventually came around to it, you know. What is the CV cable? Okay, CV stands for control voltage. So, control voltage is basically any kind of note. It's sort of like converting a note signal into an actual voltage. So I think it's in between 0 and 5 volts maybe? I'm actually not sure. So, but it's no, it's 1 volt per octave, but I think maximum 5. So 5 octaves total. I think that's how it works, I'm not sure. So basically that's what's coming out of this. So this is converting a digital signal, MIDI, to a CV signal, a control voltage signal, which is then going into this toolbar. Here, let me show you what this does. See that, like, it's called slew, or more commonly known as portamento, or glide. So this is straight. A little bit wavy, you know? Kind of works with a slower BPM. So, okay, let's trace the signal. Okay, MIDI is coming from this. Here, let me pick one to really show it. Let me actually make this faster so it's a little less. Okay. I'm going to filter it down when I talk just so it's a little bit less obnoxious. Okay, so like I said, the CV signal is coming from this MIDI converter, and so the CV, the note information, is being plugged into this input, which is called. This is like overly complicated. You don't need this, but this is a slew control basically. It adds that ramp up kind of like. But right now I'm going to turn that off, and then the output of that is going into this buffer. It's just going to keep getting more complicated. The buffer is a way to sort of send that same signal to multiple spots without losing intensity of the signal. So again, you're dealing with actual voltages. It's nothing that would like actually shock you or whatever, but you know, it's 5 volts. It is an electrical signal. So you're dealing with pure analog, basically, you know, signal basically. Okay, so that's going into this input, and then here I have it's like routing to different places. So right now on this second cable, it's routing into this oscillator, and this is really what's creating the sound. Like this oscillator here is creating that is creating that tone basically, which in this case is a square wave. This one here. And the square wave is then getting patched into the input of the Korgasmatron, which is a great filter. A filter is basically, it's actually what I'm doing with software here. So like I'm moving this knob around, but it's analog. So here, let me open it up and then like, that's it. Okay, let's see. And then so in the filter, you can actually send a copy of the control voltage signal. So you're basically sending a copy of the note information, but sending it to the filter, so it opens up the filter the higher the notes get, because the higher the notes, the higher the voltage, if that makes sense. So let me see if I can. Let me give you a different melody here. Actually, let me go a lot faster. Let me see if I can actually get this to like show you what I'm talking about. So right now the filter is all the way down, right? Now I think what is this? FM2, okay. Okay, so yeah, okay, so FM2 is just getting the note data information. So if I start raising this, notice how the high notes start to, like, they open up the filter just a little bit more. Right now it's exaggerated, but it's a pretty subtle thing, but it adds movement to a sound. It makes it more interesting. Can I accidentally blow up that thing with sending too much voltage amps? You can maybe damage a certain, like, some equipment, but I don't think, I mean, you definitely never run the risk of like actually like blowing it up. I mean, this is all like, I can touch this, this is a signal that, you know, I can, like, I'm not gonna feel anything. I really don't even notice anything. So it's not strong enough to really hurt you, but like if you send a really strong signal into it, maybe you could damage some of the equipment, yeah. But a lot of the modern stuff has protection, so maybe not. Okay, filter, but see, the filter isn't just opening up on its own, right? It's being triggered by this ADSR. So ADSR means attack, decay, sustain, and release. You know, I almost got an ADSR tattoo. I should have done that, but. Okay, so there's a second signal that I haven't mentioned yet. So I mentioned control voltage over here. That's note data, right? This is basically, it's like, it's called a trigger. So yeah, I'll lick it. So this is just sending like an on-off switch, basically. So you can actually see it. I mean, you see the note coming in, and it's triggering over here. See how the lights are lighting up every time? So I can I can make this sound like as short as I want. So right now I'm basically, I have the attack in the lowest setting. The decay is just a little bit, here, you need a light? 1 second. There you go. A little bit better. Okay, so I'm raising the decay here, keeping the sustain down, and adding a little bit of release just to kind of open it up a little bit. And then, okay, so the ADSR is triggered by that note, by that like on-off switch. And then this is triggering the filter to open it up at that certain time. So like I said, I can just open up with a tiny little note. And then, okay, so the filter, there's sort of like two worlds. There's this control voltage world, which is like all the signals that, you know, create notes and like all that. But then there's the audio world. So like basically the oscillator, the filter are in the audio world, and then that needs to plug into the VCA, which is means voltage controlled amplifier, which basically just is a fancy way for saying it's just an amplifier. It sort of elevates the sound, I guess. Or gets it to like a decent level. And then from there, it just goes into a mixer. So that's pretty much the signal path, is like up top here. It's very simple. It's actually pretty much the same. This can only, for example, this can only play one note at a time. Like it's pretty basic. But a lot of these are sort of built in the same way. So like there's an oscillator here, a filter here, a VCA here, LFO here. So LFOs are, they're called low frequency oscillators. So it's basically like taking this sound generator, but like lowering it way down. I'm not even gonna get into maths because that's like. Okay, maybe I'll get into it a little bit. So this guy down here, maths, this is an amazing module. This is probably my favorite, actually. There's so much you can do with this. But it's really hard to explain. But basically, it's what people call a function generator. So think about it in the way of like, there's inputs and outputs, and it can do a whole bunch of stuff that you throw at it. So it basically just affects the sound and affects the signal and affects the sound. It can do a lot of different things that you want. So it's like multi-purpose. But in this case, I'm just having it create a low frequency oscillator that changes the pitch of the actual oscillator that you're hearing. So let me open this up. So I'm gonna add, here, wait. This is just the basic sound right now, so it's like pretty straight sounding. And then I start to add this oscillator, or this LFO. I'm exaggerating it now, right? I have all these like settings to basically like rein it in to be like a little bit more simple, but or to be more manageable. But for the most part, like you can send pretty strong signals. So this is just without sending anything, and then I can go, which is like kind of too much, you know. You can also send the inverse. Again, because you're dealing with like actual voltages. It has like a lot of unintended consequences. Basically, so let me mess around with this a little bit more, and you'll see. that gives you sort of a general idea of like how far you can take this. And a lot of it is not even amber lamps, yeah. Like a lot of this is oh God. I guess we're gonna go. Yeah, you won't learn this in theory class, that's for sure. And thank you for this retro. Appreciate that. Yes, we are at 150. Yes, we are at 150. Marshall, yeah, I do use the digital delay. I actually haven't set it up for the modular yet, so, but usually I can send stuff to it. Anyway. Yeah, composition and sound design are definitely different things, for sure. Okay, all right. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that kind of random explanation of modular stuff. Now I will say, like, I'm definitely not like the best source for this kind of stuff. There's actually a lot of really fantastic YouTube channels that explain this stuff thoroughly. I'll throw out a couple names that I off the top of my head, but I think Andrew Huang does a whole bunch of stuff. And but there's this other guy called Mylar Melodies, which is very good. His YouTube channel is awesome, and there's lots of great information. Cool. I think I'm gonna call it, guys, because we're over 3 hours at this point. Yeah, no, thanks for sticking around while I nerd out on my synthesizers, you know. Happy Friday. Hope you all have a wonderful weekend. It's actually kind of cool. I like that. Nothing I would actually use, but donkey rhubarb. Yeah, let's see who's Who's on right now? We could do Gabriel and Dresden. He has a whole bunch of people watching, but it could be fun. Let me open that up, actually. Oh yeah, I love Satisfactory. Love that game. So good. I built like this, this like massive level.
My own touch, 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 my
Okay, guys. Thank you so much. Yeah, 100% some IDM. Yeah. All right, here we go. Of course. Sriracha Steve, welcome another Steve to the cult. Bobo. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Boop. Yes. Good night, everybody. Thank you again for coming on the stream. I think I'll have a chair on Monday. That'll be good. I'm also getting like a new rack mount thing for like some of this equipment, so that'll be a little bit more dialed in, and yeah, maybe some new samples and stuff like that. Yeah. Again, thank you all. Appreciate it. Have a good night. Okay, let's raid Dave. Let's get some lint rollers ready. All right, guys, have a good night.